All right. Hello, hello. So glad that you're here and getting ready to get started on this WTF is coaching. My name is Crystal, and then there'll be my girl Danny. She'll be popping into the call as well when we get to that point. But I just wanted oh, here we go. Okay. I just wanted to welcome you guys and kind of set the stage for we're just going to be here for probably about 20 minutes sharing all it is that we do, what it entails for coaching, how it fits into different lifestyles, and kind of what it is that like motivated or like got us started, and what it is that keeps us going with the momentum that we built in this community. So like I mentioned, my name's Crystal. I'll go in and share a little bit about my story and kind of how I got started and why I am still here. So I started back in 2019. I'm not super good with math, but I think that's about 3 years. If not, it's a different year that I started. But so I've been doing this just shy of 3 years. And basically why I got started was I was kind of already into that like wellness facet. I was a yoga teacher, struggling a little bit, trying to teach 10 classes a day, 7 days a week so that I could make an income. But then I was also just recently married. I was doing relatively well. And I love saying that I was doing like fine or okay, because looking back, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was totally not doing okay. I was kind of doing okay by society standards, but I just had no idea who I was, where I was, and what direction of life that I needed, and what it was that I was missing. That was the big thing. Something was missing and I had no freaking idea what it was. So then I seen my coach Carly. She was traveling and traveling for work and doing handstands everywhere and just having a blast with a group of girls. And like one, I had always grown up around like the people who would say, I have guy friends. I just don't get along with girls. And so like to me, okay, that's cool. I'm not supposed to have girlfriends. All right. And so then that kind of created like the self-isolation like theme to my life, I feel like. So just kind of seeing her like bond with these women that seemed like they had things in common. They were talking about real life stuff. And I just wanted that in my life. And I knew in the beginning I wanted to coach, but I would not have said that out loud. So I got started with the fitness piece, and I was like, in my mind, I wanted to coach, but if I said it out loud, I was already a failure. So that's kind of why and like how I got started. And then I did a 6-week program, 20 minutes a day. And I was used to going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week for anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. I was out training a bad diet. It was working physically, if that makes sense. But I was still pretty intense with alcohol and kind of figuring out coming off of different aspects there in my life. So this business changed my life in a sense where it put simplicity into my own fitness, but then it also gave me this outlet of like my creativity and becoming like more depth into writing or like finding things that were not me. But looking back this whole time, like I did have creative pieces that I just didn't know where to place that. And then just bringing it all full circle, letting this become an outlet of like purpose and my passions. Like I said, I was a yoga teacher, so I really loved that fitness piece of it. But I didn't know what to do with it. So that's my story and why I'm still here and got started. I will unmute Danny, and she can share a little bit about her story because she's different than me. I'm a mom of one now, but back then there was no baby. So, all right.
Okay, so I'm Danny. I have been a coach since April of this year. My journey is a little bit different. So I started out because I kept watching Crystal and all of her stories and just incorporate how she's like this new mom and she is trying to find time for fitness and trying to eat healthy and like all this holistic way of life. And I realized that this was more of who I wanted to be. So I'd always been somebody who liked to work out, liked to eat right, that sort of thing. But I kind of lost my way after, getting married, having 2 kids. The two now are 7 and 4. So it's kind of like I just lost myself. And so I tried all these different, Herbalifes and, fad diets and things like that. And nothing really stuck to me. Nothing really like called me, if you will. I just didn't feel it. And I really wanted somebody, honestly, who was going to be there with me the whole time. Like, I need somebody who obviously can't live with me, but I want them to check in on me. I want them to keep me accountable, to see what I'm eating and all that stuff, because that's where I struggled. I'm very good at hiding, so that was easy for me. And especially if you don't talk about these things, it's easy to give up and fail at it because nobody really knows what you're doing. So that was my struggle with it. So then when I saw Beachbody, I just noticed how this was more of, you're not really supplementing things, like you're still doing a basic activity, which the human body should do, period. You're still drinking like these nutritional shakes that are organic. Like you can get the plant-based if you want, and they're not like legit meal replacements. Like honestly, you're supposed to eat them or you're supposed to drink them with certain meals, like you're supposed to have your side of veggies, you're supposed to have your side of carb or a fruit or whatnot. It's just not this whole meal plan of shakes every day and a salad for supper. So that's what I really liked about this program. And then when it came to the accountability part, so I knew that Crystal was constantly had her phone next to her because there's constantly stories being posted. As much as you don't want to think that, it's true. So that drew me in because I knew somebody would be with me the whole time. And then I realized that once I started seeing like how she could do these things, I realized like that's what I want to be. So I guess I did sign up as a coach, because I wanted the preferred discount, because I wanted the products to try at least. And so in order to get that, you have to be the preferred member. So that's why I signed up for it. And I didn't really start truly enjoying being this whole coach part until I finally found like my foundation. So I had to play with this stuff. That's why I like the idea of purchasing that completion pack or that total solution pack that they have, because you get all these aspects of this program put together. So you get the workouts for the whole year. You get a month supply of Shakeology, or you get the performance pack. So that includes the Recover Shake, and that includes your Energize, which I'm a total fan of. And that stuff, it helps incorporate your whole day, and that's something to think about. Like you're not changing your whole life around. This program is not about revamping everything that you do. It's about changing these tiny little things in your life to all of a sudden an overall effect makes a big difference. And so, like I said, I've only been doing this since April, but since then, I mean, I've lost 15 pounds, which is amazing. I feel better in my skin. I feel more open in all of my struggles. I've always been kind of an outspoken person, but I feel that this has really helped like dig a little deeper into the emotions that I had when it comes to depression, anxiety, just the everyday life struggles of stressors. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here eating my food in the room. The dog came in. I got kids in the background. We're all doing this. I'm normal. Okay. Normal people can do this.
And you work full time.
And I work full time. So it's just, this program is doable and it's helpful and it's beneficial. And if you get all these products and you get all these tools that come with that completion pack, you don't, like I always stress, you don't have to use all of them. Like Crystal and I both know that I started out not wanting to work out. That wasn't my goal. I wanted to be able to eat right and be healthy, because you need to eat to survive life, period. People can survive without working out. It's just a added addition to our health. So I wanted to eat right. And after I started doing that for a couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, let's add in some workouts. So here I am doing yoga and 21 Day Fix and the Bar Blend, which is my ultimate favorite program. I love that one. And so I think that it's important to have access to all this stuff and just don't get overwhelmed with it and use it right away. Take your time, learn about these little things, and then it'll all kind of together. And look at me now, shining.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll kind of just share a little bit about what is coaching. So literally as coaches, we do three things. Danny mentioned one just recently here, talking about how living a healthy and fulfilling life, like living at the fullest. So for some of us, living at the fullest doesn't include fitness every day. Like it's what that means to you. So we're like the only company where personal development is a part of our job. So you have to invest and pour into yourself. That is the first thing that you do, because when you do that, pouring into yourself, it gives others permission to do the same. And so that leads me into the second piece of what we do as coaches, inspiring others. We share our journey, and we share even the dirty parts, the messy parts, and that inspires others that, oh, I'm not a failure. I'm just a human being. So that second piece, yeah. So that second piece is definitely one of my favorite, is that just by being ourselves and being real and growing is how we inspire and help others. And then we invite and we support them on their own journey as well. So honestly, you're starting with your own plan, you're sharing that journey, and then you're inviting others to do it with you. So that's why I love how like simplicity, and I mentioned in the beginning of my story that I just needed it to be simplified. I mean, with our culture and society, we think being healthy and well is so complicated and everything has to be, you have to go get an Apple Watch. You have to have all these fancy tools and all these things. And it's like, no, you just need to be able to move your body and you need to be able to eat well. And that's kind of like the major tools that we have that allow us to pour into ourselves physically. And then we get our personal development on top of that. So as coaches, we partner with Beachbody. If I didn't share with that yet, Beachbody, if you've never heard of that before, it's kind of the in-home fitness gurus, I guess. In the beginning, I read a little article earlier today about like in the 90s, and yet your P90X and then Insanity eventually. And so if you've tried any of those programs back in the day, they're a little different now, but same concept, moving your body, maybe a little less intense and a little calmer with some like stretching and mobility work. But all right. And for coaches, who it is that we're looking for. So we're looking for like the dreamers, the doers, those with a vision, or maybe even like me, those who are just missing something and they don't know what it is. And that's okay. If it just kind of always feels like there's just something missing from your life, even though like your life is pretty great, it's just still something's lacking and you don't know what that is. So looking for the ones who are like, okay, pushing into those uncomfortable, like pushing through past that and just figuring out what it is and getting that done. So that's definitely something that I like to preface, because that's what really brought me into it. And that's what I found a lot of with other coaches. Like you're just looking for a change and you might not even know what it is, whether that's community, whether that's just fitness, because you went from having freedom to now being a mom, and you still have freedom, but you're not allowed to leave your house when the kids are still there. So it's kind of those different concepts there. A couple fears and like most common misconceptions about coaching is that to be able to coach, you need to be in peak physical condition and at your goals, and you need to be perfect to help other people. One, perfection is not true. It's not even a real thing. Two, that is incorrect. The most inspiring people are the ones that we can relate to. When I see somebody struggling through a run, I'm just like, oh, yep, that was me. I'm here. Yep, that's us. So it's starting your journey exactly where you are, not, oh, in 2 weeks, if I work out and I feel and I get consistent and maybe I feel a little bit better in 2 weeks, maybe I'll start in 2 weeks. It's like, there will always be a roadblock. And the best part is that your roadblocks might be exactly what somebody else needs to hear to smash through their limiting beliefs. So that's my most favorite one. And then your goal doesn't need to be weight loss. Some people's goals is weight gain. Danny's was just nutrition and fueling her body right. Some people's goals are trying to sleep better. Mine was anxiety and depression, really working through that. But like I mentioned, when I started, I wanted fitness, but in my mind, I wouldn't say it out loud. I wanted coaching. In the beginning, I did it for my depression, anxiety, but I also wanted weight loss, but I refused to say that because that was another thing that like was not courageous or shamed in my own mindset. So it's working through those things. I always love to touch a little bit on time. We mentioned Danny was full-time. When I started, I was a yoga teacher, a bartender, and then I worked in a fundraising office. So I had 3 jobs, a couple of dogs, and had just gotten married and was trying to travel every second of my life. Then I kind of transitioned to full-time in one job. And now I'm doing this part-time lingo with having my babes. He's 15 months old at home with me. So I've actually been able to kind of use this as part of my flexibility tool to go from full-time to part-time. So that is what I want to share, because you can work this business in 1 hour a day. I will say, if you want to build and you want to build quickly, the more time you invest is the more that you'll see like that return in the end. And I will say there is like this big long disclaimer: Beachbody does not guarantee any monetary your financial reimbursement is based on the work and the efforts and the diligence that you do. So just basically saying you have to do hard work to get paid. And it's not, It's not easy. That's a good term to say. It's simple, but it's not easy. So I'll share with that a little bit more about that in a minute here. But and then also, if you've heard of Beachbody before, it's a multi-level marketing, and I'll share how we get paid in a minute here. But something that like jumps into people's mind right away is like pyramid scheme, and they have all these flashing lights and people go crazy in their mindset, and it's just like, nope, hard no. I just kind of always love to talk about that one because that was something in the beginning that really kind of shook me a little bit. And it was because I knew absolutely nothing about what a pyramid scheme was, what multi-level marketing was, and how that was. So just so you are aware, pyramid schemes are illegal. The reason Beachbody is multi-level marketing is because we support and help our clients and coaches. And so by doing that, we build our team, and that's where that multi-level comes from. But we do not get paid for anything that somebody doesn't get a service or a product for. And that's kind of where like that pyramid scheme was illegal, because if you were just having people buy in and they weren't receiving any goods, then that's where that illegality comes from. So I love to address that, squeeze that in there. Maybe take a breather. If you guys have any questions either, feel free to throw them in the chat and I will either address them during or after. So a couple more things that I'm going to talk about before we kind of end the call and we ask any questions. I'll just kind of talk a little bit about money. Like I mentioned, I would, how you get started and what you can expect when you join. So I've kind of talked a little bit about the fears and the objections, just making sure I didn't miss anything. And so all about the money, how do we get paid? So a big reason why I started in the beginning is because I was seeing my coach traveling and she was traveling for work. And I was like, well, you know, I could work in, I was in healthcare before. So I was like, I could work in healthcare and maybe get paid to like travel and sell people things, but then I wouldn't get to choose where I was traveling to and all of this stuff. So when I seen my coach traveling, I was just like, okay, how do you do that? I want to get there. Like, take me to Mexico. What do you need to do here? So one of my favorite ways that we get paid is we basically get benefits and gifts for doing our job. And so that's kind of what, like annually, we have a Success Club trip. We put on retreats for our team. So we get to travel, whether it's local or across the US. There's also other little gifts and like bonuses that Beachbody will do for us when you hit certain, hey girl, when you hit certain ranks as well. But the main way that you get paid is two options. The first is through compensation. No, that's not the word I'm looking for, but commissions. That's the word I'm looking for. So we get paid by commission. So literally every single person that we help, you get your commission. You could anticipate a Total Solution Challenge Pack about $50. And the Total Solution, Danny kind of touched on in the beginning, when you sign up, your fitness, your nutrition, and your accountability. That's what a total solution is. So when you help somebody get started on their fitness journey, you make that commission of $50 or so. And then the second way that we get paid is Team Cycle Bonus, and that's where that residual income comes from. So when we help people get started, we get paid commission. When those people continue to see results, continue to focus on their journey, and continue to order products with us, that's when that residual Team Cycle bonuses come in. And then you make money by the amount of volume that people are, that you're seeing under your business, if that makes sense. And there's a ton of details that can go into that. So literally you have two options. One, you completely control by your commissions, and then two, you build yourself by their residual income. And so those are the actual monetary and how that works there. I already shared the income disclaimer earlier, so I'm not going to do that again, but it was really messy, but it works. Okay, I have like notes next to me just to make sure I don't miss anything that I definitely wanted to share with you guys. So a little bit for me, in the beginning, I was just looking for that investment and I wanted to get my supplements paid for. I was the person who was trying to make my post-workout protein shakes out of blended up tofu. I was vegan at the time, so I was doing blended up tofu, or I was pretty much, I would bet 20 to 30 hours a month researching proteins or multivitamins. And then I would bite the bullet or whatever, and I would order one, and then I would question it, and then the next round I'd have to research and do more. So I was constantly in this researching game of like what wasn't trash. I use that word loosely. I will definitely say what wasn't trash, what I was eating, and trying to figure out how to find the cleanest in products and the superfoods that I wanted. I wanted the ashwagandha for mentality support. I wanted the reishi mushrooms. I was on like 3 different herbal supplements for depression as I was trying to get off of my prescription medication. And it was just a lot to keep track of. I was literally a little holistic herbalist pharmacist, and I had no idea what I was doing. But it worked a little bit. It just took all my time. So my hobby was going to the gym because it took me 40 minutes to get there and back. It took me 2 hours there. And then I would be researching these supplements all while I was at work and doing all these things and just doing that. So what was a big piece of letting me let go of like my limiting beliefs and I shouldn't do this for myself was I need to change something up. I'm wasting my time on things that aren't filling me up. And I don't know how I got on that. Oh, and that was the financial vision. So like in the beginning, my only goal was to pay for my supplements. And it's nice to have those startup goals just to kind of see where you can go with this and how it makes you feel once you hit your goals. So that's kind of what got me started. And I was just kind of just sick of using every dollar that I had in the bank so that I could travel and like scrapping it and making it work. And I was just kind of ready for a change. I didn't want that traditional lifestyle of clocking in and out or being a stay-at-home mom, but also not feeling like I was contributing anything, even if you just stay home and take care of the babies and that's all that you do, that is a ton of work. But I knew that for me, I'm very like passionate and I'm very purposeful and I really wanted something more. So that is kind of where I had it there. How much does it cost and how to get started? I'll pop that back over to Danny. She already talked a little bit about a total solution pack, but just kind of how you would get started if you were ready to do coaching and so forth.
Okay, so if you were ready to get coaching, you obviously have to, it's easier if you talk to your coach already and kind of set up a plan as to how you want to get started. So every completion pack that is available to you comes with a 1 year of workouts, and that's access to hundreds and hundreds of programs. And these programs come with, the packages extra, I guess, if you wanted to buy the package that comes with it, all these special equipment. But they come with like the calendars that you can print off and you can follow. They talk about the meal plans that you can do. There's different things that come with different programs, and there's so many different programs. So that's the full year of workouts. It also comes with your 2 nutritional programs that you can do. So there's the 2B mindset, and then there's the portion fix. Obviously, if it's one or the other that you get, I shouldn't say that. You get both items, both tools when you order a total solution pack. The idea is to kind of find out which one is right for you and where you're struggling at the time. And for me, I don't struggle with portions, if you will. It was more of like what's good. So 2B Mindset totally bases its products off of, or totally bases its program off of the healthy foods and healthy carbs. And, there's no restriction to anything there. The other one,
Hey.
Oh my God. So stop. The other one is for your portions. So if you have trouble with portion issues, then that is something else that you can help with. Oh my God.
You're totally fine. You're
real
fine.
Mom here. So the workouts, the nutrition program, and then of course there's different packages that you can get if you want to supplement your Shakeology, or if you want to do the Recover Shake with the Energize. And that's totally your choice. You can do everything if you want, honestly, because you can pick certain pieces to add on to these packs too, if you'd like. So that's fine. The other great part of it is where the accountability comes in. So with your coach, you have the opportunity to be a part of their Sweat Studio, which is located in the Beachbody app. So after you purchase this completion pack, you would download the app. You would get access to these things, and you get to see people like me, like Crystal, like everybody else in this group here that post their struggles, their hopes, their things, tracking on there. There's little community where we all talk about
the same thing and keep each other accountable. So that matters. When it comes to cost, it kind of depends on what you want. You know, Shakeology costs a little bit more, but when you do the performance pack, it is a little bit cheaper. I do highly recommend you ordering the performance pack completion pack, because then you do get your Energize and your Recover Shake. It gives you a little taste of what these products are. And then you can just grow from there. So when I started, I did the performance pack, and then I realized that I really liked the shake idea and having something quick and easy to take, especially after my workout or in the morning when I'm not really hungry, but I know it's a very important meal. So I should have a shake. So I ended up adding on the Shakeology, the cookies and cream. So that comes every month with my performance pack. And that's just that's for me. That's what I like. Oh, Crystal, look at you.
You don't see anything. There's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, lady. Okay. So as far as getting started, yes, if you're already in the preferred membership or the coach, the team pages and such, you already have all the tools that you need. Oh my goodness. You already have all the tools that you need. If you are not yet, basically to get signed up, depending on what month you sign up with, and if you have, like Danny mentioned, the add-ons for the specific program that you're going to do, it's roughly $160 to $220 investment, depending on what you choose and need and what you have flexibility for at that time in your life. We all go through different stages and phases. So it's definitely seasons and what happens for you, like in that moment. So that would be how you get started. The Total Solution Pack is where they waive the coach access fee. So that's always what we recommend. Otherwise, it's $40 to start as a coach. When you do the coach pack that I mentioned, that $160 to $220, that fee gets waived. And then you also get all of these tools that you need: the fitness, the nutrition, the accountability, and so forth. So what it is that you can expect and kind of who we're looking for. So like I mentioned, we're looking for the dreamers or those ready to make a change and not sure, maybe even not sure what that is, or maybe you're laser focused and you know exactly what it is that you need. Even better, we're all very different. So by doing so, what you can expect when you sign up is we will get you started specifically on your plan, because like I mentioned in the beginning, there's 3 things we do as Beachbody coaches. One is we focus on our own journey and health and wellness. And that might be nutrition first for you. That might be fitness. That might be a merge of the 2, or simply just the personal development and meditation. And simply doesn't mean easy in that sense. So you can expect to get started with your own journey first. And then depending on how fast you are in your own, fast, that's kind of a weird word, but, or like driven or directed in your own goals, you can get started with coaching the same day you get started with your health and wellness plan as well. And then we share that and we inspire others. So that is basically everything in a nutshell. If you guys have questions, like I mentioned, feel free to either just unmute yourself or throw it in the chats. I can address that there. I'm trying to think of anything else I want you to know specifically. Just kind of knowing that a lot of us fail forward. And that's kind of where the success comes from. Like none of us started anything you see that you appreciate or idolize, whether that's just even your laptop that you're looking at. Nothing was perfected overnight. Everything failed forward, and there was a ton of failed efforts behind the scenes before you've seen that successful product, self, person, anything on the outside. So just kind of reminding yourself that it's okay to have it be messy. It's okay to not have this perfect plan. None of us did. And it just kind of threads even better in what our life is like right now, and just giving us this opportunity, this outlet to share our journey, to not be alone, and to connect with people who have similar interests and are just kind of ready to move mountains. So that is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stop the recording.